Hello, hope that you're doing all right. Emmanuel Simon Sakalarai here. Today I'm going to be trying to answer some few questions that I got from a guy called Shoshore. I hope that I'll be able to answer these, and I hope that this tutorial will be able to even help you. Okay, first of all, let me just clear the ground and make sure that you understand these things. You might know this already, but I think it's very important for me to be sure that you already know. First of all, my strings key on standard E. Standard E not based out particularly the guitar really easy, and it's standard wherever we go. So if you listen to this, that's the standard E, and it where is string a palm solo the E low E and out E2, and it then you know tera nations A2. Then you know nations D3, then G3, B3, na E4 yekupedzesera, anditi. So that's how they're tuned. Kana tune odaro zvoita kuti makods achange tichidzidza nemascale shapes achange tichidzidza are universal asati netse. But again, guitar can be played in any way that you want. You can tune your guitar in the way that you want and play the tunes that you want. As long as it's sounding musical, it's all right. Hakuna mitemo. All these things that I'm telling you today are just guidelines to for you to start your journey yokuridza guitar. Alright, so since tanema kuti ma strings awane mazita, that means that every position your guitar in a zita, so if you play this string it open that's an E, but we want to think kuti if you come and hold it here, probably it also has a name, so there is this chromatic scale, that's the music, which we use in naming our chords and our notes, which is simply counting from A to G and including the accidentals and pakati. So it's simply A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we start again A, B, C, D, E, F, G. There's never an H or an I, it's only from A to G, and right? But my accidentals are from A, there's A sharp pakati, but A sharp is the same as B flat. It depends with the direction that you are taking. So in direction and change titora, it's just direction you can do my sharp, so that we don't confuse each other by including my sharps or in my flats. So for now, we're just going to do the positive direction, so we're going to be using my sharps, and so from A to A sharp to B doesn't have a sharp, and memorize that. Then from B to C to C sharp, then D to D sharp, E doesn't have a sharp, then from E to F to F sharp, then F sharp to G sharp to A, come back to A. So if you've noticed, B and E have anama sharps, and so that means in everything that we're going to be doing, memorize good, everything else has sharps, but E na B have anama sharps. So now on guitar, all these movements that are my semitone movements, and by chromatic scale we move the semitone movements, which means it's just half a tone. So on guitar, half a tone is just a simple movement from one fret to the next. Second cutting or anything that's like that, it's a half a tone movement. Do semitone actually. So from here to here, the semitone, from there to there, that's a semitone, like that. So a chromatic scale remember all these strings tambava my mazita. We're just going to start with string A because it's where we start on the chromatic scale, and makes it a little bit easy to hear, though we're going to do the movement on all the other strings. So from A, from the chromatic scale, we go to A sharp. From A sharp, B, from B, C, from C, C sharp, from D, from C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, go back to A. And you notice on the guitar there's double doors when you come back to the first note that you started with. So from A open to A, which is basically an octave higher than the initial A. It's exactly the same note, just an octave higher. Right. And then we go to this string, yeah, E, and from E, you go to F, from F, F sharp, from F sharp to G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, back to E on the double dots. And so open E, octave, E, like that. Saka kuziva manotes awa akanakira kuti kuchatibetsera kugadzira mazita emacodes edu, kuziva kuti scale yatiri chiridzira mukey ipi. By the way, everything that we're going to be playing pagitare, you need to know the key. Kana usingazivi key, it's very tricky for you to communicate nevamwe kana kuziva kuti uri kuitei. And so you need to know my keys. Why? They are very important. And again, my keys by guitar, it's not my notes. These are notes. Key is where you find the notes and the chords. So usually there's a misconception to my keys, but my chords got my notes. No, they are not the same thing. Unfortunately, for keyboard or piano, those white and black little things that you see there, they are called keys. But the key that we're talking about here is not those keys. So I want you really to understand the key is the domain that contains the notes and the scales that we're going to deal with. So ndabata note not irim kiyani and it. So apatetrum key C minor. It's the key of C minor that has all these notes and all these chords and all these intervals. So a chord is just a combination of 3 or more notes, where a note is just the simplest thing you can play. An interval is just a combination of 2 notes. And so we're going to go forward. Now that all of that is out of our way, let's carry on. So I'm glad to understand that you can play G. And now, because I taught you that basic stuff, or maybe I reminded you, you can actually understand why this is called a G, because the root note, which is this, is actually on position G, which is counted like this, from the open E to F sharp, then to G. So this note is called a G. But then, of course, the construction is made by what we call triads, a triad construction, which we're not really going to dwell on today, but then probably on another lesson we'll go on triad construction so that you have a better understanding of how these chords come to be. And so we have a G, and usually people can also play a C, and we have a D, we have an E minor, we have an A minor, we have a B minor, we have a what else? F sharp minor, and then back to G. These are some of the chords that I want you to master. But the good thing about guitar, manje, once you can master my chords ese ekumberuka ari mu key ya G. Remember, this is the key of G, since this one is number 1. So everything that we're going to be playing pamsoraba will be in the key of G. And so once you master my notes, my chords are mu key ya G, then you'll be able to just translate everything in any other key. Ndokunakiza kunaita guitar. Ukangokwanza master key ya G yoyo, everything that you're going to play up ndozo uchengoridza mukatume, it'll be so easy. You understand as we go forward. And so I figure that you can play the major scale, which is do re mi fa sol la ti do, so which sounds like this. And octave higher. That's just an octave high. If you decide to go even further, that's the third octave from the first one at the tangira. And that's just the major scale, do re mi fa sol la ti do. So you discover that's just 7 notes. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. And then the 8th one, we're coming back for the tangira, just an octave higher. And Papa about octaves after what? After 7 notes, or the 8th note, and which is after 7 notes. And so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, then 8, and octave. Right. So by that respect, you discover the do re mi fa sol la ti do in the key of G translates to the chords that we already know. And remember, tatine mazita tapa kuchi every position. That means this position has a name, so does this, so does this. So if this is a G, this position has to have a name too, and so from G to G sharp to A, and so G, A, then this one has to have a name. You can also calculate that. I want you to calculate that. I won't tell you now when the calculator say, but for now I'll just give you the names and I want you to calculate. So from G to A to B to C to D to E to F sharp, then back to G. I want you to calculate or not my notes, so I say must stay Y. But those are the notes that you find in the key of G, and those are the very same chords that you're also going to find in the key of G. So that key mean my notes and my chords. So can our notes. The good thing is that these notes hango play in a shape each. You can play them in any shape, starting from any string that you want. Let's say that tangira same and this is G. I just look for the same note. That's G, and even if you count from there, you discover this is G. And if I play, let's say I find another G. If I want to play the major scale, let's say I want to maybe pan up. So you can play the major scale at so many positions. But as long as it sounds do re mi fa sol la ti do, it's correct because that's the major scale. And Saka, you'll discover that major scale is what we're going to use to make melodies and so many things. But I just wanted to show you my chords and how they are derived from the major scale. So the first chord was G, then A, but it becomes A minor. It's not just an A, it's called A minor. Then from A we go to B, B minor. Then go to C, to D, to E minor, to F minor. For now, let's just call it F minor, F sharp minor. Usually you play, the proper one is F sharp diminished, but then I think it's a little bit complicated. So for the sake of progress, let's just play F sharp minor. Then back to G. So from G to A minor, to B minor, to C, to D, to E minor, to F sharp minor, and then back to G. And these chords, they usually are called by numbers for ease of communication. That means the rokutanga kunzi 1, then reach 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Saka nawo muzoona itaura izvozvo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vachitaura pamacodes ndozvavananga vachingoreva izvozvo. Izvi zvakanakira zvinotibetsera kucommunicate. So these same chords are the same chords that we use to play R&B, are the same chords that we use to play sungura, even maybe pop or soft rock, or maybe anatuku. So once you just master macodes awa nokunzwisisa major scale yacho kuti inomborevei and chichichitika, then you are good to go. So now from what I just said, your assignment is to be able to play all the chords that are in the key of G, which are G, A minor, B minor, C major, D, E minor, F sharp minor, and G. And then I also want you to play different shapes of the major scale besides from this one. In other words, I want you to start to play the scale from every string in the guitar. If you can do that, that means you have to start with string number 2, which is A. String number 5, which is A. But you have to find the G guitar. For example, this is G, this is also G, and that's G, that's G. And so once you just find G, and you carry on do re mi fa sol la ti do or pezza. Once you can do that, I think we can carry on to the next lessons and how these scales apply. But basically, a scale in the same key of the chords that are being played just sounds alright. Saka, you see tinongo batana. For example, if this is my major scale in the key of G, just can get up. If someone comes and plays, even if I come through and don't, zvese kuti zvinongogara zvatongogara. So the same concept will work for everything. All these chords anongobva pa major scale yoyo in the key of G. So once you master that, then we carry on. I hope that was helpful. When it comes to guitar, most of the work is done by you. I'll give you hints and show you how you should go, but then you have to put a lot of practice in mastering these things. Shapes or chords, you need to work extra hard for you to master, and then so that your fingers can get familiar, and then we carry on with the rest of the stuff. But basically, there's nothing much in this.
The sun is not shining, your day is not moving.